With the Legislative Black-Caucus, we attempt to lay out our agenda for the legislative session. Just wanted to read something I thought was very important. It continues to be very important. It talks about the mission of the Legislative Black-Caucus. It says the North Carolina Legislative Black-Caucus is an incorporated association comprised of senators and representatives of Afro-American heritage and American Indian culture. The purpose of which the caucus is organized or named to operate as a vehicle through which blacks and other people of color residing in the state of North Carolina will be able to exercise their political power in a unified manner, to ensure that their views and concerns of blacks and other communities of color are carried out by their elected representatives, and to work and develop the political consciousness of black people. I thought that was significant, and we need to continue to remind our members of the Black Caucus and the community in which we serve that the Black Caucus is here to serve as the vehicle for which we will keep the issues of people of color and those in our communities issues at the forefront of the General Assembly. There comes a time when silence is betrayal, Dr. Martin Luther King says. We can, we must, and we will continue to fight for all the citizens of North Carolina, especially the poor and the middle class. The time has come for us to talk seriously about the citizens of North Carolina, to talk about the inequalities that are being shown by this General Assembly at the present time. They're taking, as we've said so many times, and people have been upset with us about it, but it's true. They're truly taking from the needy, giving to the greedy. Some of the bills that have been passed in this General Assembly are counterproductive. First, we look at Medicaid expansion. Black Caucus stayed together on that bill because we knew that it would affect over 500,000 in the many communities that we serve and others. And it goes back, I'm going to stay brief potentially on the poor and the middle class, because a lot of things that are happening now are not only affecting the poor, but the middle class. No income tax credit. 900,000 people will be affected by that legislation. Reduction in the unemployment benefit come July 1, we noticed 190,000 people will be affected, and those are not only the poor, but the middle class. They will really see some serious issues behind this. All of these things are designed to traumatize and victimize the poor and the middle class in our communities. And then on the same token, we take the inheritance tax and give it tax breaks to those who really need no tax break, and I say that they are the rich and the famous. Now they are inflicting pain that seeks to strip away the only hope that many in our communities have. And there's a saying that voteless people are a voiceless people, one way or the other. The voter ID bill that's being proposed would definitely do damage to the citizens in constituencies in which we serve each and every day. It would disenfranchise thousands of voters currently registered in the state. These things, ladies and gentlemen, are simply fundamentally wrong at the core and just plainly ungodly. It is written that the poor will always be with you. Therefore, the writer says in Deuteronomy, I command you to open your hands towards your poor brothers and towards the poor of the needy in the land. Franklin Roosevelt said, test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have little. The Black Caucus, we cannot and we will not sit on the sidelines idly and not be vocal, vigilant to all that's going on in our state. We will continue to go back home and remind voters, not only Democrats voters, but Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, because a lot of this legislation that's going forward will hurt people regardless of what party they're in. I'm convinced that this is a class struggle. It's not so much about black, white, and parties. It's about class. If you don't have anything, it's obvious that this legislation is saying we're not concerned about this. But it's just absolutely even painful to tell a man to be pulled up by his bootstraps. First of all, when he has no boots, you won't give him the ability to buy any boots, and then say pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. We call on the Republicans to re-examine these vicious policies and remind them that the time is always right to do the right thing. We as the Black Caucus, and I'm just I just commend the Black-Caucus leaders who have come before me and those who stand with me today. And I think we all recognize and understand, even our freshmen, those who are coming in, the importance of the legislative Black-Caucus. Some say this is a bad time for the Black-Caucus. This is a bad time. What are you really going to do? Well, we're going to do a lot because we're going to be vocal. We're going to continue to educate. Voters are going to continue to educate and talk and speak truth to power. That's what you got to do. You got to let those in power know that this is wrong, and we must continue to work together for the good of the great state of North Carolina, state in which we all love. We will continue to work for. And today we have 5 members who will come and share with us some of the agenda items that we think are very important and some of the things that we're going to work towards in the General Assembly this year. We have 5 issues. We have criminal justice, which we think are issues that we need to address, health care, economic development, education, voter ID, and election laws. There are many bills that have already been filed. Some in our delegation, there's other bills have been filed by the party in power. And we will speak on one of those bills. But this time we're going to ask Representative Marcus Granter to come and share with us some issues that he sees in the criminal justice system that really affect the poor, the middle class, and people of color. We're going to ask Representative Marcus Granter to come and share at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Thank everybody for coming. I am Representative Brandon out of Guilford County, and we have been meeting with the Criminal Justice Committee and the Black-Caucus, and one of the things that we wanted to deal with is ex-offenders and felon rights. And so we have 2 bills that we are advocating for in this general session, and one does not quite have a bill number, but that's our biggest legislative item. And it's working. We're working with Representative Avila, and Representative Mosley is working with that bill, and that is the age, that is to raise the age of which you can be a felon from 16 to 18. We think this is a very important bill. Many of our young people are getting felons before they become adults, and we know that when you become a felon, your life becomes very, very difficult. And these are just children and babies, and we need to respect that law. The second bill is called the Ban the Box bill, and that is House Bill 204, sponsored by me, Representative Pierce, and Representative Rodney Moore. And the Ban the Box legislation is a legislation that many of our cities and municipalities have already enacted. It would not allow people to box that says, are you a convicted felon? That would no longer be able to be on the application. The reason for that, many of us serve communities where communities where there are folks that have felons, and it's a curse. For the rest of their entire life, they have this on their record. And they can't get jobs, they can't get housing. There's numerous things that happens once you become a felon that makes their life very, very difficult, especially trying to re-enter to society. These people have paid their debt to society already, have served time or served for probation, and there are folks that are 21 years old that got a charge who are 50 years old today and still have that on their record and cannot get a job. So we really need to deal with that. This is a cancer in our community. And the Black-Caucus has been fighting for this for years. I was encouraged last year when we passed some expungement laws and felon right laws. We hope that we can work with the other side to be able to pass more that bring more people into society instead of alienation. Thank you very much.
Rodney Moore will come talk about economic issues in the
Good morning. My name is Representative Rodney Moore. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, House District 99. We have some concerns about some economic concerns that I'll articulate to you at this moment. One of the things we're very concerned about is economic justice, economic opportunity in all parts of the state. If you look at some statistics, if you look at the unemployment rate, it hits mostly rural counties, eastern counties where you have double-digit unemployment rates, and most of those counties are rural and have a large population of African American and Latino workers. So we have an issue, we have a concern about how to put that unemployment rate down and retrain these workers or train them into the industries and the services that we so talk about with the 21st century technology that we need to develop. We also need to expand opportunities for training between businesses and community colleges to bring these people up to speed. There's also an issue about access to capital for small businesses, women and minority-owned businesses. And so that's one of the things that we'll be concentrating on, finding out how we can look through programs such as some programs at the Rural Center, and also enhance the Minority Economic Development Institute in Durham and the Support Center to kind of get the information out there to help some of these struggling small businesses to get access to capital, get access to more training, technical training that's going to help them grow their business. Also, very concerned about the agro-business concerns down east in the rural parts of the state, where you don't have, a lot of times you have high unemployment because you don't have opportunities to, the farmers don't hire a certain type of worker. And so we need to talk about that, and we also need to address how we handle immigrant workers who are seasonal workers who come here and work in our agro business. So those are some of the things. There are many others that I can go on about for the purposes of time and this press conference. Those are some of the highlights that I want to see. Thank you.